Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, everyone. And since we spoke about the first part, the first important foundation of a community, a society, the human being, and how it's valuable. If it's valuable and we achieved its value with all this peaceful coexistence, the fact that we respect one another and that we are all equal in rights and in duties, so then let's move to the second part, which is the society, the community. How can these healthy parts of this community, when they cooperate with one another, when they coexist, what would be the result? And do you have some historical evidence from what you are talking about here in Islam that will show the success of this message and also the success of this coexistence? Of course we have. Wait for many things in this episode. After the intro, I can't wait to start talking to you guys. Back from our intro, and of course, in order to understand what is the influence of really appreciating a human being in order to form a successful community and a prosperous society, let me take you back 1400 years ago, the early Muslims. Of course, it's such a challenging time where the message came in order to demolish completely the idea of worshipping many gods. And of course, I won't take you guys to complicated terminology of these early religions. However, you will understand that at that time, 1400 years ago, Mecca was the destination of every person from every tribe around the Arabian Peninsula in order to visit their favorite god. Actually, 300 idols plus were built around Al-Kaaba, and people just visited these places once per year in just one solid time. So this actually represented a very good source of income and revenue to the small city of Mecca, controlled of course by the family of Quraysh. And guess what? Of course, this family is the family that our Prophet, peace be upon him, was already coming from. So you can see the challenge happening. They were the closest to him, however, they were the first to be his own enemies. But also I'm talking about other Muslims who followed the Prophet, peace be upon him. They faced a lot of torture. Imagine whatever you would like to imagine happened to them. So what's happening here? That they are against the idea of Islam as an ideology, not because of their religion, not because of their own beliefs, but also because this will represent an end to their economic source, to their revenue. So you can see clearly that those early Muslims faced lots of struggles, and again, like almost 21 years later, after the birth of Islam, they returned to open Mecca. Okay, and when they opened Mecca, they had actually the power to do whatever it takes to those people who showed them nothing but torture and like looking at them with all the sides of demeaning and the fact that they are nonsense as long as they are disbelieving in these idols. They referred to the Prophet, peace be upon him, okay, waiting for him to just tell them, okay, your punishment will be 1, 2, and 3. He just gave them this awesome statement that is recorded in history, اذهبوا فأنتم الطلقاء. So just go, you are forgiven, you are released, you can just do whatever you like, okay? And some of them remained actually coexisting in Mecca. They were not actually even expelled out of Mecca. So you can see here, not just disbelievers who are not believing in Islam, they are also the people who showed the early Muslims all the types of torture. You will tell me, okay, it was an early state and this is kind of a show of weakness or a political move. But believe me, with the Prophet, peace be upon him, opening Mecca, the 8th year of Hijrah, and with him he had many tribes that they are stronger than the Meccan residents. He didn't need this as a political move. He didn't need this of anything. It's just a true showing of mercy and how to show the example of early Muslims forgiving those people who tortured them. This will actually show the example to others in order for them to be peaceful and merciful. Accordingly, the founders of Islam, or the founders of Islam's state, they were actually raised in the Prophet, peace be upon him, house of mercy, and this reflected upon the upcoming centuries afterwards when it comes to mercy, coexistence, and even when they had to wage wars against other adjacent countries or cities at that time, they were so much merciful. I'll share with you a few facts in this awesome history of early Muslims to show you how this society was founded on the grounds of mercy and coexistence in peace. I'll see you after a short break so that we can know more about this awesome history secrets. Welcome back, everyone. So with this short break, let's just have a quick look at what happened when the Prophet, peace be upon him, as I told you, he returned to Mecca to open it. So wasn't he already in Mecca? No, what happened in between, which is after 13 years of the birth of Islam. That was the night when the message was revealed, according of course to our faith. The message was revealed by an angel to our Prophet, peace be upon him. 13 years later, and after all of this torture by the same city, he had to actually migrate from Mecca to al-Madinah. It's a place that actually in modern day Saudi Arabia, but it's so far that he had at that time to walk for 3 days in order to reach it. So it's a long distance, all right? But when he reached over there, there were 2 families. They are the families who are ruling that city. And they were already Muslims. And because of this basis, the Prophet picked that city in order to go for it, to find the shelter, the support, and also the seed of the first Muslim community. Then what happened? What happened was one of the awesome scenes of solidarity that you cannot imagine in the whole history. When those Muslims who are living already in Medina, they made something called mu'akha with the early Muslims who are coming from Mecca. And this means, in a simple English words, like being a brother to them, taking them as brothers. So they had actually to share with them everything. And you will actually consider what I'm going to say. Consider the wise way, please. When they actually shared with them everything, even some of them came and said, I have 2 wives. I can divorce one and she will just spend some time and she can get married to my brother who's coming from Mecca with absolutely no money and no family. I'm not saying here that this is a little bit weird. It might sound weird to some people, but they actually shared with them everything they can, that because they had it. And they felt that those people deserve support. And in order to support them, I'm not gonna spare my taxes. I'm not gonna spare my zakah, which is in our beliefs is what you're going to pay willingly as a charity, okay, every year. And they didn't say, okay, we will pay even quarter of our money, half of our money. They said, no, we will share everything, not just the money, everything they own, including their relations. This is to achieve the balance. And I'm not saying that this is what we should do nowadays. I'm saying look at this awesome, classy demonstration of the belief in solidarity. Nowadays you can see horrible things that are happening in Lebanon, horrible things that are happening in countries. I'm not talking here about Muslim countries, while there are other rich, very rich Muslim other countries. I'm talking in general about the whole world. If you looked at some statistics about the fortune, the wealth, the types of resources that we have in nowadays world, and you divided them equally over the 8 billion people living on the planet, they will live peacefully, and some of them will be super duper rich, but others will be as well living in a very, very good condition. However, look now at some ads that might be popping up even in this video or other videos, that you have to donate 80 cents because one child across or over 7 children is not actually having enough food. Okay, so you can see, you can imagine that in Africa, in many parts of Africa, in many parts of some Latin countries, living conditions are so horrible. So in order to find a way, we have to achieve the so honest solidarity. You shouldn't actually seek a lawyer support in order to just escape from paying taxes or charity or whatever. I'm talking here about the true belief of a human being in order to take care of others as long as they have. Wait for me after another short break where we are going to continue our simple talk about acts in history that shows the true solidarity in Muslim community. Hello everyone and welcome back. So again, before we forget, remind me, I'm sure now you are saying this, Assalamu alaikum. We will never forget it because now we know it's the message of peace that we admit that we have to say it every section, every segment of each episode. Now, if we were talking actually about something related to the true solidarity in the whole world, you will tell me, come on, Mr. Dreamy, this is not the noble man, this is the dreamy man. I would partially agree with you, but let's talk here about a logical talk. In every community around you, every place around you, look at how many people you have who are very truly rich people and how many others who are not just poor, they are absolutely, they cannot live even. I'm not saying that this is not a teaching of Islam, it's a teaching of Islam, but Islam is about practices. It's about the practical moves. Believe me when you say actions speak louder than words, this is something that's already implemented and it's one of the fundamentals of Islam. That it's not about what you say, it's about what you do. And what you do is going to be the shelter that actually takes you from the low-level Muslim to the high-level Muslim, the noble man. This is something that I've been saving to tell you guys in this episode and should have been stated in the last few episodes. Islam came to make the Muslim, the human, actually elevated from the level of below human, the animalism, to be even better than angels. You will tell me how. Angels were created according to our beliefs as creatures who are not making sense. They are not actually built, they are not created to make sense. You can consider them as their setup as non-sinful beings. You as a human, you have the choice. And you can tell me, okay, I have the liberty, I have the freedom to do whatever I like. Of course you have. That is why my message since the first episode, I'm telling you, I'm not inviting you to anything. It's your absolute right to do whatever you like. However, consider the fact that the more you are following these teachings and principles to achieve something, to overcome these weaknesses that you have, you are victorious. Imagine this feeling when you are a person, and I'll give an example by myself. I'm a person who would like to be in shape, okay? If you did overcome this whim of eating and going to the gym or practicing sports in general, and you will reach that outcome of being in shape, imagine how happy you'll be. I'm not talking here about being in shape to impress others. I'm talking here of the fact that you need to be healthy for yourself. Imagine how this feeling is awesome. Same applies when you are just living your life and you are kicking every door, okay, without counting others or other human beings. Imagine this life when you are this person who is spreading everything that is anti-animalism and it's very human because you did this by choice. Imagine, believe it or not, you are, in our belief, you're not just a human, you are a human who has elevated himself or herself to be an angel-like human being. I'll see you guys next episode so that we can talk more about these issues and challenges happening in our societies and communities. How can we overcome them and what would be the practical solutions, not the dreamy solutions. See you next episode.